In this video, I'm going to show you how to travel around the world in luxury for free, all while improving your credit score. I know what you're thinking. What's the catch? There is no catch if you're organized and responsible, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Before we begin, I've personally used this method to travel everywhere from Mexico to Japan, back home for the holidays, flying my friends out to see me. I've traveled internationally in first class, and I've explored some of the most prestigious airline lounges in the world. I have TSA Pre and Global Entry, both of which I got for free, and I have access to a lounge in almost every airport I go to. I did all of this by putting my expenses on a credit card and getting the welcome offers from those cards. This strategy of getting credit cards for welcome offers is called churning. Being a responsible churner means not spending more just because you have a credit card. Only put your current expenses on a credit card. Do not inflate your lifestyle. Also, keeping your credit score high means paying your balances in full each month. It is extremely important that you do not ever carry a balance. This will kill your credit and you will go into debt very quickly. I can't stress this enough. This only works if you only spend what you can afford to pay in full at the end of each month. So if I haven't scared you away, let's go ahead and talk about this. Now, the first step is picking your cards. In this example, we're going to be trying to go to Hawaii for free for 1 week with 2 people, and that's going to be plane trips and hotels. So the first step is going to be picking your cards. Now, what I would suggest doing is following this flow chart, but I'm going to be jumping around in this flow chart to show you the quickest path to this Hawaiian vacation that I have in mind. So before you start, you need to ask yourself a couple questions. First, what is your credit score right now? How many credit cards have you opened in the past 24 months? Do you have a significant other that you'd like to travel with? How much do you spend per month right now? And how much of that spend can you put on a credit card? So in this example, we're going to pretend my score is 680 to 700. We're going to pretend that I have 1 card opened in the past 24 months. We're going to pretend that I have a significant other that I'd like to travel with. We're going to say that my spending is $2,000 per month. For example, $1,000 per month on rent, $400 for food, $600 in miscellaneous expenses. And we're going to pretend that I can spend $1,000 per month on a credit card. Now, in this example, that's just food and miscellaneous expenses. The answers to those questions will determine which credit cards you can get and which welcome offers you can hit. So if your real values are like a better score, you have fewer cards open in the past 24 months, and you can put more spend on a credit card, then you can afford to get better cards that'll have bigger welcome bonuses. But for this example, we're going to keep it to $1,000 per month on a credit card. So what you're going to have to do is start out by picking cards and making plans for those cards. So for example, the first card in the flow chart right here is the Barclays American AA Advantage business card. And this current offer as of right now is for 65,000 miles after spending $1,000 in the first 3 months of opening the card. 10,000 miles after purchase is made on an employee card, and a $95 annual fee, which is not waived the first year. So the plan for those is going to be, first we'll reach the 65,000 miles by putting 1 month's worth of expenses, the miscellaneous expenses and the food, on this card. We'll get the extra 10,000 miles by opening an employee card. You can give that to your significant other and have them purchase one thing on it. There's no minimum on that, so buy a candy bar or something cheap. And then the annual fee, unfortunately, we just have to pay this. So we start out down $95. But the value that we're going to get back is much greater than $95, as I'll demonstrate later on. So we're going to also need to make a plan for this card after a year. So the plan is going to be one of 3 things. We can keep the card, we can cancel the card, or we can downgrade the card. So for keeping the card, we will have to pay the annual fee in order to do this. And since we won't get any more welcome bonuses from the card, the value that the card offers will be lower than it was in the first year. So only keep the card if you get more value from the card than the annual fee costs. In this instance, I don't personally think this is a very valuable card to hold on to, so we're going to be looking at either canceling or downgrading it. The next option is canceling the card. So canceling the card is generally not suggested for personal credit cards. Canceling a card will impact your average age of accounts, your number of open accounts, and your credit utilization rate. The number of open accounts will drop, which is bad for your credit. The utilization rate will go up since your total credit amount decreases when a card is closed. And if this card is older than your average age of accounts, your average age of accounts will drop, which will negatively impact your score. Now, if this card is newer than your average age of accounts, then your average age of accounts will go up, which actually is a positive impact on your credit. So something to think about. But the long story short here is that canceling personal credit cards should be avoided. Now, whenever we can, we want to try to downgrade. So downgrading is when we ask the credit card company to change the type of card that we have, usually to one without an annual fee. So if you've decided not to keep a card, this is the next option that you should explore for personal credit cards. Now, this is a business card, so it doesn't really matter if we cancel it because it's not going to get reported on our credit. So the plan for this card is going to be either cancel or downgrade. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. So the next step, let's say we're getting this card. We just applied for this card. Now we need to finish the minimum spend on this card and apply for the next one. So we'll hit the minimum spend using the plan that we set out. And then the next card that we're going to look at getting is, before we go to the next card, we're going to be looking at booking flights. So in this example, I'm going to go from LA to Honolulu from the 1st of January to the 12th of January with 2 passengers. All right. So now I'm pulling up flights so that we can look, and you can see that per ticket, I'm getting 40,000 miles round trip plus 1120 in fees. So for 2 people, that's going to be, 80,000 miles plus like roughly $25 in fees. Now we only have 76,000 miles if we've spent the minimum. So we'll need 4,000 additional miles, and you have a couple options here. You can buy them from American Airlines. That will run you about $140, as you can see right here. You can wait a couple more months and just continue to put your expenses on a credit card until you have all of the 80,000 miles. This is probably the best option, but it's going to take a little bit longer. Or you can transfer miles from another rewards program, but we're not going to talk about that right now. That's a little more advanced. So for this example, we're going to do the simplest option, which is buy the 4,000 miles from American Airlines for $140. So now we're out the $95 annual fee and $140 plus the fees that we spent on the tickets, but these tickets are valued at about $250 each. So we also get $500 in value back from the redemption. So all in all, we're still up about $240 from this first credit card. So now that we got the flights covered, the next step is to cover the hotel. Now we're going to deviate from this a little bit, and I'm going to cover the hotel using the IHG Chase card. So we're going to come over here. Here's the current offer for the IHG card. $0 introductory annual fee, which means we have 1 year of having this card for free, so we're going to be able to cancel it and not pay anything for this card. After $3,000, we'll get 140,000 bonus points. We'll hit this by putting 3 months worth of our miscellaneous and food expenses on the credit card, and then we'll have these 140,000 bonus points. Now, these 140,000 bonus points are going to get us into the Holiday Inn Express Waikiki, 35,000 points per night. We're going to purchase 4 nights, and one of the benefits of this card down here is this 4th night free reward. So one of the nights we're also going to get for free. So we'll actually do 5 nights on this. One of those nights will be free. So we need 2 more nights, and that will cost the amount that we redeemed here will cost exactly the 140,000 point bonus. Additionally, we get a fee credit for TSA Pre or Global Entry, so either you or your significant other can get Global Entry TSA Pre for free. We're not going to talk about the anniversary night, but that is also worth noting that you get a free night on your anniversary, so you can cancel the card after redeeming your anniversary night, get a little bit of extra value out of the card. Again, we're not going to go super deep into that right now. Okay, so using this card at the Holiday Inn Express, we've covered the first 5 nights of our 7-night vacation. So we still have 2 more nights to cover. And also this card was free, so we would have only had to pay the amenity fee for the hotel, which is a fee that you actually have to pay regardless of whether you use points or cash. So it's not really unique to this. It's just something you have to pay whenever you stay at a hotel. So we have 2 more nights. We want to do something special for the last 2 nights. So ideally we can get a better card. We're going to do the World of Hyatt card. This is a $95 annual fee. It's not waived. And unfortunately, this doesn't have a downgrade option. The last IHG card did have a downgrade option, so we'll downgrade that one to the free version. This does not, so unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel this card, but I think it'll be worth it. So we'll get this by spending 6 months worth of expenses on this card. The offer is $25,000 bonus points after you spend $3,000 on purchases in the first 3 months, and an additional $25,000 after you spend a total of $6,000 on purchases in the first 6 months. So if you spend $6,000 in 6 months, you get 50,000 points. And that's our $1,000 per month limit of what we can put on a credit card. That works. So we'll get the 50,000 points by doing that. And on the Hyatt, we can actually stay in this hotel, the Hyatt-centric Waikiki Beach, which is right up here. And this gives us access to a suite, this premium night suite. I'm not sure. It says there's a free night. It says this is a free night. So I'm going to assume that we get 2 nights for 30,000 points. If that's not true, then we'll have to do 2 nights for 48,000 points. But you should be able to get a suite for those last 2 nights. So this has been a lot. Let's go ahead and switch over to a spreadsheet and we can talk about the costs and benefits. Okay, so for the first card, the AA Advantage Business Card, we paid $95 in an annual fee, but we got $500 worth of airline tickets. So on this card, we come out on top, as you can see. For the IHG rewards, we actually get $895 worth of benefits. It's $795 worth of a hotel stay, plus $100 global entry pre-check reimbursement. And this card doesn't have an annual fee. Plus, you can also look at the extra anniversary night that you get here. So you're getting well over $800 worth of value from this card, and you're actually not spending anything on it if you downgrade after the first year. And then the final card is the Hyatt. This is the most expensive for sure, but you're going for that suite the past 2 nights. So you're getting a $500 redemption, and you're actually not even using all of your points. You get an annual fee of $95, but you also get an anniversary night here. So you're getting over $400 in value off of this Hyatt card easily. So total, you're netting roughly $1,700 if you subtract purchasing the extra points from American Airlines and a very generous $300 in fees from hotels and airlines. You're looking at closer to $1,300 in value, which is still great if you ask me. So hopefully that's illuminated how you can use welcome offers from credit cards to travel around the world for free. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If you have a specific scenario that you want to walk through, I'm happy to do that as well. Let me know if you want to see any more types of videos from me in the future. But yeah, let me know what you thought.